Module 5, Continuous Improvement, My Story for AEP 858. This is a tweet that I found for an educational tweet. Every child deserves a champion, an adult who will never give up on them, who understands the power of connection, and insists that they become the best that they can possibly be, by Rita Pearson. That's kind of a focus of our school, is that we never need to give up on the students, never give up on them, that each student can learn. And then we need to make connections with our students to help them to be successful and to stay, honestly, to stay in school, and then and value school, and then that can lead to students becoming the best that they can be. So where we are now, as far as our demographics, we are we have almost 53% males, 47% females. Our demographics as far as race and ethnicity would be almost 92% white, and then it falls off. The next highest would be Hispanic at like 3.7%. Our economically disadvantaged people, that's where our school is statistically very high. We're at 59.04%, and Kansas average is 47.3%. We're also above the state average with students with disabilities, and our ELL and migrant numbers are well below the state average. Our perceptions, we have some core values. I'll kind of highlight some of them. We need to treat our adults and students with dignity and respect. And whenever we make decisions, we always ask ourselves, is it good for the kids? And that must be asked every time. We believe each student can learn. Our focus will be on learning and creating a growth mindset. And then fear must be driven out of every organization. And then number 6, we have honesty and sincerity when dealing with anything with students. And then every situation is an opportunity to teach expected behavior, and we have to model that on a daily basis. People are motivated by success, not their failures. And then fair is not equal. And then number 10, and these all appear in the student handbook. Number 10 is those in the organization are accountable for the responsibilities they hold. As far as our testing data, we're pretty good. That sounds arrogant, but we are above the state average on most everything. We've seen some great growth, especially in science between 2018 and 2019. We had a change of curriculum. A new curriculum began, and obviously it had great effect. And we've had a lot of good retention in terms of in teaching staff when it comes to math and English and science, which certainly helps as well. Social studies, our history is a little bit different. We've had some changes of staff. We could probably increase our tier 2 students into tier 3, and that would help that testing data. Where we actually have more of our issues that we need to discuss is when it comes to our dropout rate. We're at 3%, which is over twice the state average, and it's jumped quite a bit from 2018 to 2019. And our principal has warned us that it's going to get worse before it ever gets any better. And then the other issue we got is our data from this Kansas Can Lead the World data. And our graduation rate is 6% below what they would like it to be at 95%. And then our 5-year student success average, so how well students things that students accomplish at 5 years out of high school, within the first 2 years of high school graduation, my mistake, they have to have a certificate or a post-secondary certificate or degree or whatnot. And ours is pretty low at 47%, and that feeds into the final equation of our 5-year effectiveness rate average of 42%, which is well below what they would like it to be at. So where are we now as far as our school processes? All 7 to 12 students who are members of a sport or activity are subject to random drug testing. We believe that helps with student success, keeping that under control. And then Our high school and starting next year, our middle school will have a 48-minute advisory period. On Mondays and Tuesdays, they do MTSS and Tier 1 and Tier 2 support for students in math and ELA. And on Wednesdays, each teacher teaches a lesson to their advisory students about career cruising, character education, or Rachel's Challenge. And then each teacher is implementing a close read strategy at least once per quarter for all 6 of their classes next year. Where do we want to be as far as, and this is kind of our purpose of our school. Our school mission statement is to empower all students, and all should be capitalized or underlined, to meet the choices and challenges of the 21st century. We'd like to provide a good quality education for all of our students and build a foundation for success as an adult. Where do we want to be as far as our vision, goals, student expectations? We want to see attendance taken seriously. Has a huge impact and directly feeds into our high dropout percentage. We have a very extensive, or a little more strict attendance policy than most schools I've ever been a part of. You guys can pause the video and read it. The main thing is that even excused absences, you only get 5 per semester before you have to have a doctor's note for each one, and we take it very serious. And if you have too many unexcused absences in a class, you have to do edgenuity and make up time that you missed. So how did we get to where we are now? For many years, we were too lenient on the attendance rules and allowing kids to make up work from unexcused absences with a former administration team. Last year, we brought in a new administration team, and they kind of fixed the attendance issue. And it's gotten better. However, over the years, we've had several students drop out of school as their classmates graduate. They are counted as dropouts, so that we don't see the effect until after they should have graduated. And many of those students get far behind because they had low attendance rates, and they switched to online school, and that doesn't seem to yield well for most of our students. We think that 3% is bad, but it's going to get worse for at least 2 more years. So our plan of action. We need to be consistent with our attendance policy. We need to continue our MTSS, Tier 1 and Tier 2 supports during advisory period. They're working well. We need to continue to do ICAP with our students so that they can have set goals and be future-oriented for those goals. Continue our drug testing policy. And then things we need to implement, we need to work on the culture of our school. We have a lot of divide between our students, and students that don't feel like they belong, and students that are dealing with some things that we had no idea of a couple of years ago. And then we need to continue to build relationships with students. The teachers need to build relationships with students, especially their advisory students, because we keep the same students year after year from freshman year all the way to senior year. Relationships. A strong relationship with a teacher can keep a kid in, can sometimes keep a kid in school. Is what we are doing making a difference? I believe it is, but it's going to take a few years to see it on the Kansas report card. In the meantime, we can measure the success or measure how well we're doing by keeping track of the students who switched to online school and the ones that failed to enroll at other schools when they unenroll at Central Heights. Then we need to keep better and closer track of our online students and make sure that they're keeping up with their work and that they're on track to graduate with their class, because that feeds into our dropout rate when they fall behind. And sadly, most of our students that go to online school are kids that struggle with attendance and are not self-motivated. And those are the last students you really want to have in an online class. Thank you.